Greetings to you. I'm Keith Massey. It's Tuesday, July 7th. We've been here in Romania since last Thursday. Hey, guess what's for dinner tonight? I'm having a hamburger made out of all natural, grass-fed ground beef product of the USA. Now, you can't get this stuff here in Romania. So how am I doing this? Simple. I smuggled that meat in my checked luggage. I did that this year along with more beef and a quantity of organic chicken. We did it last year. The first year we attempted this 3 years ago was a near disaster. I call it the saga of the smuggled meat. Let me tell you the story. So first off, why are we doing this? Well, you can look this up online. A few years back, there was a study done. Genetic testing proved that a significant portion of meat exported from Romania as beef was in fact horse meat. Now, I'm actually not against trying horse meat as long as I know that's what I'm getting, but that just proves the point that if you enjoy meat, and I do, and you have to live in Romania for a month, and I do, you can't trust what's in your market. So I said to my wife 3 years ago, I said, what if we actually froze meat that we love here in America, put it in our checked luggage, and how long is the flight really? Shouldn't it be okay? And so I came up with a plan. Here was my plan. You take some meat and you put it in a small refrigerator bag. You put it kind of as best you can into a block so that you reduce the surface area. Then you maybe have 1 or 2 of these smaller bags like that, and you put them in a large refrigerator bag, okay? So again, you're reducing the surface area, insulated bags, inside insulated bags. And then, what if you then take this bag, put it inside another large bag? You wrap the whole thing up with duct tape. And then here's what I did. I put that in my freezer. And I set my freezer to go down to 14 below zero. And we waited until the last moment that we were going to leave our house. And then we took that out. We put it in our bags. And we head for the airport. That first year, we were attempting this with 2 blocks of meat. One was about 10 pounds, the other much bigger, about 20 pounds in another bag. Okay, so the clock starts ticking. Our priest and his wife pick us up at our home at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, July 1st. It's a Monday. The way I had calculated this out, our flight from Newark leaves at 5:30 p.m. We arrive in Copenhagen, and we have a flight from Copenhagen at 8:10 local time, and we arrive in Bucharest at noon. And if everything goes okay, our neighbor picks us up at the airport. If everything goes okay, that meat is out of refrigeration for 16 hours. And so, given the deep freeze and given all the insulation, shouldn't that be okay? The answer is, we have no idea. I said to my wife, look, let's just see what happens. If we arrive in Bucharest and that stuff is rancid, we throw it away. We tried, we failed, it's okay. Okay, the adventure begins. Off we go. Our flight from Newark to Copenhagen was trouble-free. We arrive. Now, personally, I can never sleep on airplanes. So I arrive and I'm kind of discombobulated and I'm tired. And nevertheless, we quickly try to get ourselves to our follow-on flight. And we're waiting at this gate that supposedly is going to be our next flight. And there's no one here. There's no one here at all. So we finally go back and we look at the screen. Copenhagen to Bucharest. Canceled. Canceled, what does that even mean? So we quickly we're asking people and they tell us, well, in the event of a canceled flight, you need to go to the transfer center. Okay, so now luckily for us, all the signage at the Copenhagen airport is in both Danish and in English, because I'll tell you, if it had not also been in English, I don't know how we would have found the transfer center. Okay, we arrive at the transfer center. They were very helpful. They just explained that the flight was canceled. The best they can do for us is they're going to put us on a flight from Copenhagen to Brussels at 3 p.m. From Brussels, we are then going to leave and arrive in Bucharest at 10:30 p.m. I say to my wife, okay, look, I've just done the math in my head. That's going to be 26 hours out of refrigeration. We just have to accept that this experiment failed. So we have no choice. Okay, so on we go to Brussels. On we go. We arrive in Bucharest, 10:30 p.m. We're waiting for our luggage. 10:45 p.m. We're still waiting. 11 p.m. The carousel stops. Our luggage never arrived. My wife goes and she consults with the people and she finds out the luggage just wasn't put on our plane. Here's what they inform us. Our luggage will be sent from Brussels to Bucharest the following day, Wednesday. But our luggage will be delivered by taxi to our apartment sometime on Thursday. Now, at that point, we're just laughing. I mean, that meat is so obviously not going to make it. I mean, pity the poor taxi driver who has to be in the same compartment with what will be rancid, stinking meat, but it just is what it is at that point. So, we get through the following day, still trying to get over our jet lag. Thursday arrives. A call comes in the morning, late morning, informing us that the taxi driver's waiting downstairs for us. He has our luggage. So down we go. We take it. We give him an appropriate tip, even though the airline paid for it. I mean, he deserves something. And my wife said, look, let's just open the bags, throw the stuff away right now, not even take it into the apartment. But I said, look, let's just see what happened. So we bring it into the apartment. We open the bags. We take the smaller of the smuggled meat containers. I pull off the duct tape and I take out the meat. And what fascinates me is that I can feel already this meat is cool. Oh, it's not cold, but it's cool. It's cooler than the other parts of the bag. I can see that inside one of these containers has clearly ruptured. There is blood inside. We take everything, we rinse everything out. One of the containers of ground beef is discolored and it has a clear hole in it. We just throw that one away. Somehow that one was compromised. Everything else, hermetically sealed, still cool, we rinse it off. We put it in the freezer. We take the larger of the containers. We open it up. That stuff's actually still cold. It's not frozen, but it's still cold. We rinse everything off. We put it in our freezer. And so the fact is, in the final count, that meat was outside refrigeration for 63 hours. We ate that meat for the next month and we were fine. We proved the point. You can indeed smuggle meat from the United States to Europe. Now, what happens if you don't have problems with your connecting flight? What happens if your luggage arrives with you? Well, what happens is what happened for us this year and last. When we took our meat out of our bags this year, it was still completely frozen. And so, people, if you're coming to Europe and you want to eat some really nice meat, smuggle it in your baggage. Be well.